Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Profe Gallo. So if you're watching this video, chances are you live in the Dominican Republic, or you plan on building your credit portfolio there. So the question is it necessary to have 7 credit cards in the Dominican Republic? Is it? Let's talk about that. Stay tuned. 7 credit cards. That's a lot of plastic and metal. Before I break down each credit card, let's start with the pros of having 7 Dominican credit cards. Number 1, diversification. Diversification, what I mean by that is benefits, the rewards, the points. For example, if you travel a lot, cards like the Iberia Plus credit card from Banco, Lopez, Haro, or the MileagePlus Mastercard Gold from Banco Popular, they're very useful. Why? Because you can build avios, you can build miles with these credit cards. So if you're traveling a lot, you can focus all your spending on these 2 credit cards to accumulate more avios for Iberia and more miles for United. 2, local usage versus international usage. For the Visa Mi Pais, it is a good credit card to use in the Dominican Republic because for your national purchases, you can earn cash back. And you will also be earning estrellas, which are like points for BHD Leon. At the same time, if you want international usage, the American Express Platinum card is the ideal card because you will get 3 points for every dollar purchased in restaurants, travel agencies, airlines, and hotels. Also, with the American Express Platinum, you'll be able to take advantage of concierge services and lounge access, not only with Priority Pass, but with the Centurion Lounge from American Express. Number 3, credit utilization. Now, when you have a decent size of credit utilization, it is really good to spread that utilization amongst many credit cards instead of having all that utilization on 1 or 2 credit cards, which can significantly lower your credit score. However, you must manage this very, very well. Otherwise, you can get yourself into some deep trouble. Number 4, backup and emergencies. Now, it's good to have a good number of credit cards so that you can use a couple of these credit cards for emergencies. Having a Visa Platinum or Qik Mastercard Gold are good options for emergencies. Now, let's talk about the cons. Number 1, the annual fees can add up. Now, with 7 Dominican credit cards, you can imagine that some of these credit cards have annual fees, and especially if it offers perks like the American Express Platinum card, you're definitely going to get some high annual fees. Maybe not as high as you will see in the United States or in Mexico or in other countries, but you would definitely get high annual fee. For example, the annual fee for the American Express Platinum card is a whopping 10,800 pesos, Dominican pesos, every year. Now, you may say that is not a lot of money, but for the Dominican Republic and for the credit cards you can get there, that is a lot of money for a credit card. So if you're not maximizing your perks, it may not be in your best interest to have so many credit cards with high annual fees. Number 2, a management headache. It can be a headache, a major headache, if you have multiple credit cards and you're using multiple credit cards with multiple balances and multiple reporting dates, multiple due dates. It can be exhausting. So therefore, if you're not well organized, this could really hurt you. Now, let's break down the credit cards and how I use them to serve me and my lifestyle. Number 1, the Qik credit card. Now, the Qik Mastercard Gold is a credit card that is pretty reachable for much of the Dominican population. So if you're a foreigner and you are looking to get a credit card in the Dominican Republic, I would recommend that one of your first credit cards be the Qik Mastercard Gold. Why? Because this credit card only requires a minimum monthly salary of 20,000 Dominican pesos. On top of that, it is all digital, so you don't actually have to go into a bank. As long as you have your cedula, you can actually apply through the application online, and you can get your credit card within the same week. Now, for the most part, I've seen the minimal credit limit for this credit card is about 20,000. So if you earn at least 20,000 a month, you will probably get a minimum credit limit of 20,000 to start off with. Now, there are not many benefits for this credit card besides cashback, which offers 1% cashback on all purchases. But again, this credit card reports to TransUnion, which helps your credit score, and most banks look at TransUnion for your credit history, and it'd be good to have this card reporting in good standing on your credit report. Number 2, BHD Visa Mi Pais. Now, this credit card is a really good credit card to start off with. It is at the classic level. This credit card offers 5% cash back on purchases within the Dominican Republic at pharmacies, restaurants, and fast food. Now, that is pretty good for the Dominican Republic. Not many banks have credit cards that offer such a high cash back. In addition, you will also earn 1 estrella or 1 BHD Leon point for each 100 pesos spent in the Dominican Republic. Now, the minimum salary to get this credit card, I'm not sure, but again, as long as you have a cedula and you can prove your income, chances are you will get this credit card. Number 3, the United MileagePlus credit card from Banco Popular. Now, this credit card requires a minimum salary of 20,000 pesos monthly. And this credit card is pretty good if you travel a lot, especially if you travel with Star Alliance, because you earn 2 points for every dollar spent with United or Star Alliance. And you also earn 1 point spent on all other purchases. Now, every once in a while, Banco Popular will send out an email, let you know that, hey, there is a special going on. Recently, there was an email with a special that said, hey, if you spend $700 between this time frame, you will earn 5,000 points as a bonus. I did that and earned my 5,000 points, which came the following month. Now, this credit card is good because it offers car rental insurance. It is also at the MasterCard Gold level, so all the MasterCard Gold level benefits that MasterCard offers, you'll get those as well. And this credit card will also give you a decent sized credit limit as well. Me personally, when I received this card, I got a credit limit of 75,000 pesos and also got a $2,000 credit limit. So 2 different credit limits, which they call in the Dominican Republic, doble saldo or double currency. Now you'll have 2 different lines, and this varies by person, but because this is the gold level, you should already have some sort of credit established in the Dominican Republic before applying for this credit card. So I recommend you apply for a Visa or MasterCard Classic level credit card before applying for this credit card. At least give it 6 months of credit history before going to the next level. Now, the next credit card is the Visa Platinum from Banreservas. Now, this credit card is a good credit card because it's at the platinum level and it offers a much higher credit limit in most cases. Now, the required income that you need for applying for this credit card that I've seen is 100,000 pesos per month. Now, they don't necessarily check that. If you have a good credit history, they'll go by your credit history. For example, if you have a MasterCard Gold or Visa Gold level credit card, they'll look at that credit history, and based off that credit history and that limit, is what they'll give you for this credit card at the Visa Platinum level. Now, the minimum credit limit for this Visa Platinum at Banreservas is 100,000 pesos. So oftentimes, if the minimum credit limit is 100,000 pesos, you have to have a minimum salary, monthly salary, of 100,000 pesos. That's usually how it works for the most part in the Dominican Republic. But again, if you do not earn that, it may be okay as long as you have the history of dealing with that level of credit. For example, if you have a credit card that has a limit of 75,000 pesos, or maybe even 60, they may even look at potentially giving you this credit card with a minimum credit limit of 100,000 pesos. So don't get alarmed by the required amount of money that you need to earn each month. On top of that, this credit card offers benefits at the Visa Platinum level, which is pretty good. In addition, because it offers a healthy credit limit, because it offers you a healthy credit limit, what Banreservas usually does is they will offer you a credit limit in pesos and a credit limit in dollars. For example, my wife just got approved for this credit card with 150,000 pesos of a credit limit and $1,000 as a credit limit in dollars. Now, they also offer this extra line of credit, which is attached to your credit card, which is called Qik Mas. And for this Qik Mas, this is basically a loan that you can take out on your credit card, which usually is the same amount that is available for your credit card in pesos. The interest is pretty high for Qik Mas, so I do not recommend that you use it, but it can be there for emergencies. Now, this credit card, I do not use at all. This credit card is for emergencies. So if there is an emergency that I have in the Dominican Republic and I really need cash fast, especially if my money is abroad, I could definitely take advantage of this card. The next credit card I'm going to talk about is the Iberia Plus credit card from Banco Lopez de Haro. Now, this credit card is the credit card that, at least one of the credit cards that I'm using. This is definitely my most used Dominican credit card at the moment because I am trying to build my Iberia Avios because we are taking a trip later this year and I'm trying to get to a particular amount of Avios. So this credit card is receiving pretty heavy use at this point. Before I got this credit card, I was looking at the Iberia Plus credit card at Banco Promedica. But what I found out is Banco Promedica is a little difficult to deal with as opposed to other banks I have experience with in the Dominican Republic. So I found out that Iberia had another credit card with Banco Lopez de Haro. I applied, got approved for it. Now the credit limit is kind of low. I got approved for $500 on the dollar side and 100,000 pesos on the peso side. However, this is my new and first product with Banco Lopez de Haro, and I imagine that with time, I could get some increases. But the good thing about this card is even though you have a low credit limit, you can always call the bank at Banco Lopez de Haro and say, hey, my limit is only $500, but I need to make a purchase of $2,500 for some airfare. They will temporarily raise that limit for you so you can use it, earn Avios, and they'll give you some time to pay it off. That's the good thing about Banco Lopez de Haro that I have not seen with a lot of other banks in the Dominican Republic. And because it's a smaller bank, the relationship feels more intimate, and I feel like with those smaller banks, you can get a lot more out of your experience with that bank. And I definitely recommend this credit card if you use any airline within the One World Alliance. That includes American Airlines, Alaska Airlines, British Airways, Qatar, Iberia, and Aer Lingus, and many others. And the way this works is at the end of every bank statement, they will total up all the Avios points you earn within that time frame, and they will immediately deposit that in your account. And you'll probably see that the next day or maybe a couple of days at the end of your bank statement period. Now, the next credit card I'm going to talk about is the American Express Gold from Scotiabank. Now, this credit card is my first credit card with Scotiabank in the Dominican Republic, my first American Express credit card in the Dominican Republic, and my experience with this credit card was pretty good. They offered me a healthy limit at this level, at the gold level. Me personally, I believe that American Express with Scotiabank in the Dominican Republic, their levels are a little higher than the other banks. Because it seems that the gold level of the American Express, Scotiabank, is at the platinum level. And the actual platinum with the American Express is at the infinite level. But I'll get more into that soon. Now, this credit card is good if you are living in the Dominican Republic. I recommend using this credit card only in the Dominican Republic because you'll be able to earn 3 points back on restaurants. You'll be able to earn 2 points back on beauty salons, barbershops, nail salons, anything dealing with beauty. You'll get 2 points back on clothing stores, sports stores, shoe stores, and that is only applicable to those stores in the Dominican Republic. Anything used outside of those categories or anything used outside the country is automatically 1 point for every dollar spent, which is normal, but to get the most out of this credit card, it is best to use within the Dominican Republic. When I got this credit card, the limit, I don't recall the actual limit per se, but it's one limit. It's one limit, but you have two currencies. And the way this credit card works is basically I can have a credit limit of 8,000 pesos and $1,300. And what I can do is, if I wanted to have more of a credit limit in pesos, I would take away from the dollars and move it towards the pesos. So basically, if I wanted to add another 10,000 pesos to the 8,000 to make it a limit of 18,000, I will actually be taking away 200 pesos approximately from the dollar limit and have $1,100 and 18,000 pesos. So you can move it like this, if that makes sense. And you can change it up to 4 times every month. So if you're traveling abroad and you want to have more availability on the dollar side, then you can have all that you have on the peso side move to the dollar side. Again, this credit card is pretty good. A lot of the benefits that you will need for traveling, such as car insurance, etc., you get this with the American Express Gold. However, I recommend its usage only if you are in country. The good thing too is there is an American Express Scotiabank lounge at the Las Americas International Airport in Santo Domingo. And if you have the green card, the gold card, or the platinum card, you can automatically get into that lounge and you can bring guests into that lounge as well, up to 2 guests. Now, the last card I'm going to talk about in this video is my 7th credit card. Now, I've had more, but I've canceled quite a few over the years. My 7th credit card is the Platinum card. The Platinum card from Scotiabank. Now, this Platinum credit card, I don't use much. This is more so an emergency credit card. Initially, I was using it a lot so I can get the welcome bonus. The welcome bonus is 40,000 points after you spend 300,000 pesos within the first 3 months. I've done that. So my first 3 months ended at the end of March. So now I'm in that 45-day waiting period to receive the 40,000 bonus points. Now with the MR points, membership reward points, with American Express and Scotiabank Dominican Republic, what can you do with those? Well, on the website, it says that you have 4 transfer partners: Iberia Airlines, Delta Airlines, Hilton, and Marriott. So you should be able to transfer your MR points to those programs. I'll put it up on the screen. For me, I'm trying to push everything to Iberia so I can have as many avios as possible. And once I receive my MR points for the welcome bonus, I should have approximately 150,000 MR points that I can transfer one for one to Iberia, and that should get me to where I need to be to book some travel at the end of the year. Also, the annual fee is not that high with this, and compared to the American Express credit card in other countries, it offers you, the annual fee is 10,800 pesos every year. What comes with that? You don't have the credits that you have with other American Express Platinum cards in other countries, but there is one credit that I think is very useful, especially if you travel frequently to the United States, and that is the global entry credit, right? So with this credit card, even though it's from the Dominican Republic, you can get reimbursed for global entry every 5 years. In addition, with this credit card, you get access to unlimited priority pass, Centurion Lounge, and one thing I've noticed with this credit card is they still have the restaurant portion and priority pass that you can take advantage of with this credit card from the Dominican Republic. In addition, with this credit card is you get a pretty healthy credit limit. This credit card is the highest limit I have in any credit card in the US, Mexico, or here in the Dominican Republic. Unlike the American Express Gold, there is 2 limits and you can't change it. I have 1 limit in dollars and 1 limit in pesos. This card is definitely worth it, but for me, this is an emergency credit card, which I only use to get the welcome bonus. Now this credit card I have only for emergencies. Now, you don't need all these credit cards unless you have very specific goals, such as international travel, miles, or lounge access, or you just want cash back. For most people, 3 to 4 credit cards is all you need, whether you're in the Dominican Republic, Mexico, or the United States. But if you're like me, who is really into travel and reaping all the benefits that travel programs have to offer, this is why I have so many cards. I plan on canceling a couple of those cards, so I don't want to exceed more than 6 credit cards in the Dominican Republic. But again, I do this because I travel a lot. I want to maximize my travel benefits, and I want to be able to share with you all what is possible and what is not possible. So what's your strategy? Do you carry 7 credit cards in the Dominican Republic or the United States or Mexico or wherever we are? Let me know. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, your opinion on carrying many credit cards, your opinion on travel credit cards, your opinion on the credit cards that I mentioned here in the Dominican Republic. Please like, share, subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon. Peace.